Hello everyone. Well, I'm assuming you've tuned into this video because you own a Shark IF200 or similar Shark cordless vacuum that's not picking up as it used to. So during the course of this video I'm going to show you the basic maintenance tips that everyone should do if you own a similar Shark, and I'll go into a little bit more depth later on in the video if you want to give your Shark a really good clean. Okay, let's start with the most important thing: emptying the bin and cleaning the filters. Now obviously you need to empty your bagless vacuum cleaner on a regular basis and don't let it go over the max fill line, and on this particular Shark the max fill line is here. So I shouldn't have to show you how to empty the machine, but if you don't know, you press the button marked empty and obviously hold it over a bin and the lower flap here will open, allowing the dirt to escape. Even after you've emptied the bin, you still may be experiencing a loss of suction. So the next thing to check is the shroud here in the middle of the cyclone unit. This can't be removed on this particular Shark, so just check it visually to make sure it's free of any hair or other debris. You can use a wet wipe or a damp cloth just to wipe around here. Don't submerge this or any part of this machine in water. For a quick cleanup, I recommend these surface wipes you can buy in any supermarket. They're the best thing to use in my experience for wiping around the bin and the shroud. It's a dirty job, but if you want to keep your machine operating efficiently, it's something I would recommend you do possibly once a month. You don't have to clean out the bin. I mean, it's going to get dirty as soon as you use the machine again, but if you want to, while you've cleaned this part here, you can use the wet wipe to give the bin a thorough clean. Now the bin is not removable on this Shark, so you can't actually run water through this. One thing I would recommend you do on a regular basis is to wipe around the seals, and you'll find them here on the underside of the lid, the bin release lid. If the seals become very dirty with gritty particles or general dust, they may not seal properly. So just spending a couple of minutes from time to time, maybe once a month, just to ensure your seals are clean. I'm not going to do the full job in this video, but you get the general idea. The second most important thing you need to do to maintain suction on your Shark cordless is to wash the filters, and Shark recommend you wash the filters at least once a month. Now on this particular model there are actually 3 filters. The first 2 are located in the top of the machine here. It's a little tab you just pull back, and as you can see this is well overdue a filter clean. So the filters lift out like this and they need washing. And again, it's at this stage, if you want to take another wet wipe, you can wipe round this area here, concentrating here on the seal. This is where the motor is located. You don't want to put anything too wet in here. You don't want moisture getting into the motor. That's why I think these wet wipes are ideal, because they clean well enough but they don't saturate the surface, they don't over wet it. And again, this is optional, but it's something that I'd like to do about once a month. There's also a seal around the top here. Again, use the wet wipe to give it a bit of a clean. And as before, I'm not going full whole hog on this. I'm just going to show you roughly. I'm not going to do a full clean, but you get the general idea. It doesn't take long, and you'll find that the performance of your Shark is maintained if you do these simple tips. So once we've got the housing relatively clean for the filter, we need to wash the filters. Now Shark recommend washing these just in plain clean running water, but personally if they're very dirty you can use some mild detergent. Rather than using washing up liquid, I'd recommend a mild washing detergent you use for your clothes. And don't put it in too hot water either. Rinse it first, squeeze it out, and then if it still looks a bit dirty, fill a bowl with some detergent, not a lot, and agitate it a bit. Rinse it thoroughly, squeeze out the sponge filter, obviously clean this part of the filter, this is the inner part, rinse it, shake it as much as you can, and then leave both filters somewhere to air dry for 24 hours minimum. I've decided to treat my shark to a brand new set of filters because the filters supplied with the machine have been washed rather a lot, and I think it will benefit from a brand new set. Now, I got this from Amazon. I'll put a link below. These aren't originals, but I've looked at them and they seem just as good. Now, this is obviously a multi-pack. You don't often need as many as this. So I'll just take one of the sets out of the bag and show you. So here's a replacement inner filter. Again, I can't tell the difference between this and the one Shark supplied with the machine. And here are 3 sponge filters. And you also get in this set 3 of the exhaust filters. And you may not even know that there is an exhaust filter on your Shark, but believe you me, there is. And I'll show you the one actually now. This can be washed. It's located here. You just press the button at the back. It's not too bad, but as you can see, that's a used filter and that's a new one. So I'm going to treat this cleaner to a brand new filter. And again, a little bit of dust is in this compartment here. So I'm going to take another wet wipe and just give it a bit of a wipe round. Because I think if I'm putting a brand new filter in, it's nice to make sure that the machine itself is all clean. So I'll just leave that for a few minutes because obviously it's going to be damp before replacing the filter. If I can clean the grill as well. So that's all I need to do for that. So with 2 new filters, obviously, we need to put the sponge donut shaped filter over the inner filter. Just pushes on like that, and then we can pop it into the Shark this way round until it's in position there. And then this is the filter compartment lid, and again, as you can see, it's covered in dust as you'd expect, and it's at this stage, if you want to give it a wipe, you can actually clean this in soapy water, rinse it, but make sure it is 100% dry before fitting it back onto the machine. I think that's what I'm going to do a bit later on, because there's a lot of little areas where it's hard to get your wet wipe into. So the best way of cleaning the filter lid is actually in some hot soapy water, rinse it, and then again make sure it is 100% dry before placing it back onto the machine. Okay, we can put the machine to one side and take the Duo Clean brush roll, because if your machine isn't operating efficiently, it could also mean that your Duo Clean head is dirty and in need of a bit of a clean. So I'll just take the wand off, put that to one side, and again, if you're experiencing loss of suction, one thing you can check is there a blockage in the wand? So just remove the wand. Obviously straighten it out if it's folded over in the flexology position, and just look through, and if it's blocked you can poke something down, something not sharp. The best thing I've found is those radiator brushes. You can get a long brush that's designed to clean behind radiators. They're ideal for unblocking tubes and hoses of your vacuum cleaner. Right, so here's the Duo Clean head, and this one is well used. And as you can see, it's pretty dirty, so this could do with a bit of a clean. This particular Duo Clean head has an easy to access brush roll. So to access it, you simply pull back these 2 switches here and you can remove this cover. Now this cover can be washed in warm soapy water, rinsed and then dried, but do make sure it is thoroughly dry before placing it back into the machine. Again, for another quick clean, get your wet wipe and you can give it a bit of a wipe down. There is a seal around the translucent part here. It's important you keep that clean. And there's also this rubbery flexible part at the front of the head that often gets dirty, and you can give that a clean too. But the best way of cleaning this particular part is in hot soapy water. But again, I do stress that anything you submerge in water make sure it is 100% dry before fitting it back onto your cleaner. But for a quick clean, and again this is optional, a wet wipe is what I would recommend. So once it's been cleaned like that, you can just place it to one side and we can have a look at this head. Now the later Shark versions have their anti-hair wrap brush rolls, which should prevent a lot of this, but if you've got a more traditional brush roll like this Shark, you will find, especially if you've got dogs or people with long hair, you'll find that hair has wrapped around the brush roll. There is no easy way of removing the brush roll on these machines, but we do have full access to the brush roll by removing the cover. We also of course have, as you can see, quite a dirty Duo Clean soft roller. That's easy to remove. Just pull here where it says pull. That can be washed in hot soapy water, or again mild detergent you'd use to wash your clothes. I'm going to put that to one side and actually wash that downstairs. But also you need to make sure of course that it is dry, so don't expect to be using your machine an hour or so after you've cleaned it. I'd recommend once you've done your vacuuming, you can clean your machine and then it should be ready for the next day, but leave it 24 hours I'd say until it's dry. But this can just be easily washed and it will revitalize. It gets quite grubby, and as you can see, a lot of dirt can stick to it. It shouldn't affect the performance, but it'll do no harm to give that a clean. So with that removed, again we can see here a lot of debris. This machine hasn't been serviced for quite a while. It gets daily use in a house with 4 quite messy dogs. And this is where the wet wipe is your friend. I'm just going to reuse a wet wipe. Give this a clean. Clean these comb parts, these teeth here at the front. These help keep the soft brush roller clear of any debris, but of course debris gets caught in that. Give that a clean. And again, I haven't time to show you in this video, but I'm just giving you the basic tips. And of course your vacuum might not be as dirty as this, or it might be dirtier. You might have to take some time. Now with these teeth, an old toothbrush would come in handy just to brush any debris away. Now with the hair, sometimes if there's not too much, you'll be able to just pull it out yourself. If it's very wrapped around with lots of hair, you'll need a pair of scissors just to cut through on these grooves here. That's what Shark have provided these grooves for. You can see there's a groove that side and a groove that side, so just pass a pair of scissors through. I've just got a pair of scissors now. I've got most of it off anyway, but that's loosened the rest up. It's not a quick and easy job. It's not a particularly pleasant job, but really if you want your vacuum cleaner to work properly, it's something you do need to do from time to time, depending on how often you use the machine, and of course how many people are in your household, if you've got pets, if you've got lots of children trailing in dirt. It's all relative. Now I've just discovered, which I forgot to show you, in my little pack of filters I was also provided this little handy cleaning brush. So you can use something like this, as I said before, or an old toothbrush, to clean all the inaccessible little bits around the Shark, around the cleaner head. So spend a bit of time freeing the brush roll of any hairs or threads and fibres, and you'll notice that the brushes themselves will pick up dirt. This is used mainly on a kitchen floor that gets quite a lot of heavy traffic, and even when the floor looks clean, dirt will stick to the brushes. And again, get the wet wipes and you can use those. Doesn't matter if it foams up like this, just make sure you leave it to dry, but you can have another good clean. It's quite satisfying. It's something you can do on a cold winter's day, or if it's raining, put the radio on and just put down some newspaper. I'm actually doing this on an old rug that I can easily clean. I won't do this on my best carpet, but you can see just the principle of it. Just get everything clean. Once it's clean, it will operate more efficiently. And at this stage you can check for blockages. This is an area that could become blocked, and you can just about see through that. Whatever you do, if there is a blockage, don't poke anything sharp down there. It has to be a blunt instrument, because we've got a little flexible hose here that could become damaged. And you can see that the main inlet is in the middle. This is free, so there's no problem with any blockage on this machine. But again, just spend as much or as little time as you want. You can do the basics, it will still work better, but while you're doing it, why not make a good job of it? And clean as much as you can. It's a little bit awkward on some of these models, as I can't remove this brush roll without using a lot. I'm doing a lot of screws actually, so it's not really designed for you to take completely apart. And again, you'll notice here, look, this is very grubby, this velour strip, and the wet wipe will clean this up. And all on the underside of the machine. So I've not done a thorough job. I'll show you this cleaned up properly off camera. I'm going to be cleaning this, so I'll show you the finished result. And if you really want to go, you know, the full whole hog, you'll notice that the wheels get dirty. And obviously a vacuum cleaner is a very useful appliance. It's designed to clean, but if your vacuum cleaner isn't clean, then it's not doing a proper job. So you get the general idea. Just keep it clean, wipe it all around. It's made a right mess here. So that's about all I can show you at the moment with the cleaning head without dismantling it completely, and I can't see much of a reason to do so. Don't forget your shark, if you've purchased it from a retailer and you've registered your guarantee, or you've got your original proof of purchase. Most shark cleaners have a 5-year parts and labour guarantee, excluding the battery. So if you have problems, say with the head on your shark machine, it's under guarantee. First port of call, after you've done what I'm showing you in this video, if it's still not working, contact Shark. Normally they'll send you a completely new head as a replacement for your faulty one. But that's cleaner than it was. Could be cleaner, but for the purpose of the video I've shown you enough, I think, for you to get the general idea. Okay, so I'm just going to wash this roller, and then I'm going to be going into a bit more depth on how to give the shark a bit more of a thorough clean if you want to. Well, I've just about finished cleaning up my Shark Cordless vacuum cleaner. Now, I was hoping to show you in this video how to remove the dirt bin for a more thorough clean, but it involves using 3 different screwdrivers, which I don't have, and to be quite honest with you, it's probably not worth the effort for most people. As you can see, I've managed to clean the bin in situ, so I'll tell you how I did it without removing it. If you want to do this, proceed with caution and make sure you don't get any water anywhere near the electrical contacts here or into the motor here. So basically what I do, and I've done it in the past, just put a little bit of washing up liquid inside the bin, close it, and then run warm water here. Of course, keep the water well away from the motor, but you can run water in this section here. You can shake up the machine, and then you can open it up, let all the water pour out, and then rinse it through. You must make sure it is 100% dry. Leave it overnight. This has been left for a few hours and there's not any water, but as you can see, it's been thoroughly cleaned. But it's optional. As long as you keep this central part clean with a damp cloth Again, make sure it's dry before closing the container. Keep that clean, keep the bin emptied, keep the filters clean, and you should have your shark working efficiently for a long time. I should have pointed out at the start of the video to remove the battery before performing any maintenance tasks. So I did remove the battery. I can now replace it. And fingers crossed, this cleaner should work. So that is restored to as near new as I can get it. Then of course we've got the Duo Clean head. I spent a little bit more time cleaning it up. As you can see, it's free of any hair and dirt. It's clean on the underside as well. And I've made sure there are no blockages, and the whole cavity here has been given a thorough clean. One thing I've been asked on another video for a Dyson cordless is how to clean these small wheels. With this wheel I managed to remove most of the debris using a cotton bud, and then once it was clean I sprayed a little bit of silicone lubricant on the axle, so it's now rotating freely. The other side isn't quite so simple without taking the machine apart, but I did manage to get the cotton bud in most of it, and again a quick spray with some silicone lubricant, but it's not as good as this one. You can get better access to this wheel, but at least they do both move quite freely now. Here's the soft roller that's been washed in some mild clothes detergent. As you can see, it looks almost new. So that was washed, then rinsed, then to dry it, simply squeeze it out like this a couple of times, give it a shake, fluff it back up, and then leave it to dry, but not over direct heat. This has been drying for a couple of hours and it's ready to go back in the cleaner. I also sprayed a tiny bit of silicone lubricant just into this bearing here, so that's flowing freely. Here we have the cleaner head. It needs inserting with the black end. It goes into this side. Make sure that the grey end that says pull is uppermost. So just insert it one end first. Swivel the end that says pull, and then you push it until it clicks into position. I can now turn the head over and fit the front cover, which again has been thoroughly cleaned and dried. Insert it at the back first. There's 3 lugs, and then push it at the front until you hear a click. And there you go, that's the head all cleaned and ready for use. I'll just give it a quick test, make sure everything is functioning as it should. So there you go, that's the end of my video. I'm hoping if you followed all the hints and tips I've shown you, your shark should be looking and performing a lot better. Don't forget, if you want to buy some of the filters I've shown in the video, you can get them via the Amazon affiliated link I'll put below the video. If you have any comments or questions or anything you want to know that I haven't covered, please comment below and I'll do my best to answer your questions. If you've liked this video and it's helped you, please give me a thumb up and consider subscribing to my channel, where you'll see many other videos of vacuum cleaners and other floor care appliances. So until the next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.